and a highway fundamentally change a nation's power. We're heading to India's northeast to look at two massive infrastructure projects. And you'll see how they're not just about making travel easier, they're about rewriting the entire military playbook in the Himalayas.
All right, so to really get what's happening, we first have to understand the problem. And it all starts with this tiny but incredibly important piece of land. Right here. This is what you'd call a strategic Achilles heel. It's the Siliguri corridor, often called the chicken's neck. And you can see why, right? It's this super narrow strip of land, just 22 kilometers wide. And it's the only land connection to India's 8 northeastern states. For decades, this geography has been a huge liability.
And you know, a vulnerability like that doesn't go unnoticed. Just 130 kilometers away in Tibet's Chumbi Valley, China has let's just say the theoretical ability to squeeze that choke point, sever that connection, and that would effectively isolate a massive part of the country. That's a huge deal.
And look, this isn't just one single threat we're talking about. It's a whole strategy of what you could call cumulative pressure. It's a multi-pronged approach. You see it here, building villages that can double as logistics hubs, new airfields and roads popping up, what some call salami slicing for territory, even controlling dams upstream. All of it is designed to do one thing: create constant leverage and shrink India's window to respond in a crisis.
So, the big question is, how do you fix a problem like that? A vulnerability that's literally been baked into the map for decades? Well, India's answer is a genuine marvel of engineering, and it's all about building a powerful new counter-narrative.
Okay, let's start with a number: 6 hours. Imagine you're a military convoy. During the monsoon season, the mighty Brahmaputra River swells up, forcing you on this huge diversion. 6 hours just to get your troops and supplies to the other side. In a crisis, that's an eternity.
Now look at this, 20 minutes. That's the new reality. Thanks to India's very first underwater road and rail tunnel, that 6-hour nightmare journey is now a 20-minute drive. I mean, the scale of that change is it's staggering. But here's the crucial part. This is about so much more than just saving time. It's about creating a totally secure, all-weather, high-speed military corridor. You're taking what was a logistical nightmare, out in the open, vulnerable to bad weather, easy to spot, and turning it into this concealed, uninterrupted superhighway for troops and supplies.
And the scale of this thing is just immense. We're talking about a tunnel that's nearly 34 kilometers long, built 32 meters under the riverbed. This piece of engineering structurally removes a weak spot that has kept Indian military planners up at night for decades. Okay, so moving troops and tanks fast on the ground is one thing, but that's only half the battle, right? In any modern conflict, you absolutely have to control the skies. And that brings us to the second big game changer. Now, this is just a brilliant idea, a dual-use concept. Most of the time, it's just a regular national highway. But a 3-kilometer stretch of it has been specially reinforced. So in a crisis, boom, it becomes an emergency landing facility, or ELF, a runway that can handle frontline fighter jets. You've basically got a hardened pop-up airbase right where you need it most.
So why is this so important? Well, for a long time, China's high-altitude air bases up in Tibet gave them a real advantage. Thinner air up there affects how planes perform, their range, how much they can carry. But this new ELF, down at a much lower altitude, completely negates that advantage. It allows Indian fighter jets to operate with full fuel and weapon loads, fly longer patrols, and respond way faster. So we have a super fast tunnel and a highway that's also a runway. Both are impressive on their own, for sure. But their real power, the reason we're calling them game changers, is how they work together. It's about the synergy. Think of it as a whole integrated system.
Yeah, let's just walk through how this would play out. Okay, imagine a threat is detected on the other side of the border. Instantly, Indian armored columns start pouring through the Brahmaputra tunnel, fast and completely hidden from satellites or drones. At the exact same time, fighter jets are scrambling from the LF highway, providing air cover for those advancing forces. And right behind them come mobile air defense systems, also hustled through the tunnel to set up a protective missile shield. What used to take days now takes a matter of hours. The entire strategic calculation has been turned on its head.
This is exactly what military strategists mean when they talk about a force multiplier. It's like 1 + 1 = 10. The tunnel and the ELF working together create something far more powerful than either one alone. They form this incredibly resilient eastern rampart, a defensive wall that ensures troops, supplies, and air power can be deployed nonstop, no matter the weather, no matter the threat.
Okay, so let's pull back and look at the big picture. What's the ultimate takeaway here? What does all this mean for that high-stakes game of chess being played out in the Himalayas?
Well, I think it boils down to this. Deterrence has shifted from being about intent to being about capability. It's no longer just about what India says it will do in a crisis. It's about what these massive projects now prove it can do, immediately and with overwhelming force. The capability is right there, literally built into the landscape.
And maybe this is the most profound shift of all. The geography itself, the very thing that was India's greatest liability, has been turned into an asset. That massive river is no longer a barrier, it's a shield. That narrow corridor is no longer just a choke point, it's a fortified gateway.
When you put it all together, what you see is India structurally countering years of strategic pressure. That Achilles heel, the chicken's neck, is no longer this isolated point of failure. It's now backed up by strategic depth, incredible mobility, and precision firepower. The whole asymmetry has been flipped.